Hello coders and developers. It's a delight to have you at gilgeekify Programming. My name is Saeed Kohansel, your guide in the realm of full-stack web development. In this tutorial video, I want to teach you how to convert websites to desktop apps using Nativefier. Nativefier is a command line tool that converts any web page into a native desktop application. This tool is open source and allows for easy customization of the app's appearance and functionality. It uses Electron to wrap the web page, making it compatible with Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Electron is an open source framework that allows developers to build cross-platform desktop apps using web technologies. It embeds Chromium and Node.js. Also, at the end of the video, I will teach you how to convert the app into an executable exe file using Enigma Virtual Box. Alright, first let me show you a demo of the application I created with Nativefier. You can see my Linktree page on the left side of the screen running in Google Chrome, and on the right side, you can see an application that contains the same Linktree page, powered by Electron and Chromium, and created with Nativefier. So, in this video, we are going to learn how to convert a URL to an exe. In the following, I will teach you how to inject JavaScript and CSS into your app. Please note that all the tools I use in this video to create the application are completely free. I will provide the download links for them in the description of this video. Okay, let's start by installing the prerequisites. To use Nativefier, you need to install Node.js and npm on your machine. I am using a Windows environment, so from now on, follow the instructions according to your operating system. To install Node.js, you can download and install it directly from the official website. You can also install it using Node version managers like NVM. NPM stands for Node Package Manager. It is a tool used to manage and share JavaScript code packages for Node.js projects. Well, Node.js is already installed on my system, so I will install npm by running this command in the cmd environment. Yes, as you can see, npm has been successfully installed on my machine. To see if you already have Node.js and npm installed and check the installed version, you can use these commands. Very well, so both Node.js and npm are installed on my system. Now, let's proceed with installing Nativefier. To install it globally, simply run this command in your terminal to install Nativefier. Yes, as you can see, Nativefier has been successfully installed on my system. Now, let's check its version. Alright, so far we have installed all the necessary prerequisites. Now, let's go ahead and create several applications with Nativefier. Well, this is the GitHub page for Nativefier. You can visit it and read the documentation. There's a file named api.md which contains all the executable commands. Additionally, to display the help within the terminal, you can execute this command. This prints the usage information. Alright, without wasting any time, let's start creating several sample apps. I have created a folder named Nativefier project here, which contains a few files, a JavaScript file and a CSS file for injecting, and a logo to use as the application icon. Let's take a look at these codes. In this JavaScript file, we disable the use of the Alt key on the keyboard and also display an alert that the file has been injected. In this CSS file, we execute a filter code that should change the color on the desired web page. I have created a text file containing various commands to easily generate sample apps for you. Let me show you the websites from which we want to create apps. Yes, we will use these 3 websites as samples. To use Nativefier, open the terminal, I use CMD, then target the folder where you want the generated app to be created by using the change directory command. Alright, everything is ready to start. By running this simple command, I create an application with this URL. Okay, the app was created just like that. Let's take a look at the program's file structure. Yes, the program files are like this. In the Resources folder, you will find files unique to your app, such as the icon, injected files, etc. Now, let's run this app. As you can see, the app icon is automatically taken from the website's fave icon. Alright, the program has successfully run. You can access the program menu and use the options by pressing the Alt key. Additionally, the DevTools are enabled by default on Nativefier apps, which you can use for debugging, but only during development. I highly recommend disabling the DevTools for the production version you want to provide to users, which can be done with a simple command. Alright, let's create the second sample application. In this command, I have defined a name for the app and also set a width and height for the app window. Let's test this command. Yes, as you can see, the app runs with the dimensions we have set for it. I should mention that you can make many customizations to the native app window, For example, you can completely disable maximizing it or even hide the window frame entirely. However, in that case, you would need to create a close button within your app's UI, and so on. Okay, now it's time for the third application. In this command, in addition to the previous commands, we also set an icon for our app. Based on my tests, if the desired website does not have a fave icon and you have not set an icon for it, the app will be created with the default Electron icon. In any case, the priority is given to the icon defined in the command. Well, let's test it. Yes, as you can see, the icon has been successfully set for the app. And now for the fourth application example. In this command, in addition to the previous commands, I have added a variable named tray. This variable causes the application to stay as an icon in the system tray. It prevents the application from being closed by clicking the window close button. Alright, so in this app, we got familiar with the tray. For the fifth example, I want to show you another state of the tray. When we set the value of start in tray for the tray variable in our command, it causes the app to open by default in your system tray, and the main window will not be shown on the first start. Yes, as you can see, the application starts in the tray, and the window does not open. Also, when you click the close button, the app does not completely close but goes to the system tray. Alright, in example 6, I have slightly modified the command, and my goal with this command is to disable the use of DevTools. You can disable DevTools using the Disable DevTools variable. Using the platform variable, you can select the operating system or multiple operating systems for which you want the app to be produced. The single instance variable prevents the application from being run multiple times. If such an attempt occurs, the already running instance is brought to the front. Okay, let's test this application as well. According to the command I wrote during production, we should not have access to DevTools in this app. And as you can see, we do not have access, which indicates that everything is correct. Okay, now let's move on to the seventh application example. In this example, I will show you how to inject JavaScript and CSS files. You can do this using the inject variable. Simply repeat this command for the number of files you want to inject. I want to inject 2 files that I showed you earlier and are in the same folder into my new app. Perfect, as you can see, both my JavaScript file and CSS file have been injected. According to the code I wrote, the Alt key is disabled in this app, and when I press it, there is no reaction. Also, the alert I wrote was executed correctly. Regarding the CSS, as you can see, the color of the Linktree website has been completely inverted. Well, let's move on to the last example, which is example 8. In this example, I will teach you how to protect your application's source code. You can do this using the Conceal variable in your command. Conceal causes your source code to be completely converted into a file named app with the .asar format. ASAR stands for Atom Shell Archive Format. An ASAR archive is a simple tar-like format that concatenates files into a single file. Electron can read arbitrary files from it without unpacking the whole file. The ASAR format was created primarily to improve performance on Windows when reading large quantities of small files, e.g. when loading your app's JavaScript dependency tree from node_modules. Yes, as you can see, when we used Conceal, this file is created in the resource folder. Let's compare it with the previous state. So, if you do not use Conceal, the source code is visible and even editable by users. I will explain this further. Alright, so far we have produced and reviewed 8 applications as examples with different commands and states. By reading the Nativefier documentation, you can design and develop the application exactly to your liking. In this step, I want to teach you how to convert the executable file of the app into a single .exe executable file. Before producing the exe file, let me tell you some points about distributing and packaging the program. The last 2 apps we produced, one used Conceal and the other did not. The main point I need to mention is that when you want to distribute and publish your app as a production version and deliver it to your users, you must protect your app's source code to ensure it is not editable. Additionally, you should follow certain guidelines, such as definitely closing the DevTools, and so on. As you can see, the source code of the app that is not concealed is easily accessible and editable. Therefore, for your users, you should distribute and publish the concealed version of the app. The unconcealed version of the application is more for development and testing purposes. You can create an installation file and package for your application in the Windows environment using software like Windows Installer, NSIS, or InnoSetup. As a final point, I should mention that while the Conceal option adds a layer of difficulty for someone trying to view or tamper with the source code, it does not provide strong protection. It is mainly a form of obfuscation and does not prevent determined attackers from extracting and decompiling the code if they are motivated to do so. Alright, now it's time to convert all the application files into a single exe file. To do this, open the Enigma Virtual Box software. First, select the main executable file of your application as the input. Then select all the other program files except the main executable file. Drag them into the Enigma window, and click the OK button. In this step, use the Files options to enable the Compress Files option. This will compress your application files and significantly reduce the program size. OK, finally click the Process button and wait for the program to generate the new output for you. This process takes a few minutes, so I will speed up the video. Alright, the new app file has been successfully created. Let's run it. Yes, as you can see, the application works perfectly. So, in this step, we successfully converted our application into an executable file. Now, let's do a size comparison between the 2 versions of the program. The version we built with Enigma is 189 megabytes, while the Nativefier version is 231 megabytes. This means the compressed version is smaller than the uncompressed version. In fact, there is a size difference of 42 megabytes between them. Alright, in this step, as the final example in this video, let's once again build a single executable file of another version of the application using Enigma Virtual Box. I choose the 6th app for this task. I repeat the same steps we went through, but this time with version 6. Okay, the new file is built. Perfect, as you can see, we have successfully created single executable files from 2 different versions of our app, both of which have JavaScript injected into them. When I try to reopen the running application, it doesn't reopen but just focuses on it. This is due to the presence of the single instance variable in the app creation command. If you remember, we used this feature. So, in this video, we learned how to create a desktop application from any URL using Nativefier. For further learning, refer to the official Nativefier documentation. Good luck! If this video was helpful or enjoyable, don't forget to hit the like button. To stay connected and receive updates on my latest content, please subscribe and activate notifications. Your thoughts and feedback are valuable, so feel free to leave a comment. Thanks for your time and I hope you found this video beneficial.
Because I will not quit, no, because I want this. Don't try to stop me now.